Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. John Belkowitz here, calling in from New Zealand, Napier, New Zealand. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my life, and I'm sitting here in a hotel somewhere around 5 o'clock in the morning. I just made my first cup of French press coffee, and I did a pretty bad job. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about talking to engineers about bringing new and emerging technologies to the concrete industry, and we've talked about this subject before, but I wanted to focus on the engineers. I wanted to focus on the people who have to check off the technology before it actually goes to the industry. And I wanted to really highlight, what the obstacles are. And when it comes to an engineer saying yes to a new technology, oftentimes you hear the phrase, well, it's not in the standards. Somebody said to me yesterday, we were in a briefing, we were talking about bringing new tech to the concrete industry, and standards is not law. And absolutely correct. The standards are not law. They're not the chains that hold engineers back, but they are things that are used to give engineers the confidence to make a decision to align this with this. Our engineer David did a wonderful video on designing and development and connecting this to this, and this is how we bring emerging technologies out to the industry. And there's a certain fear associated with that with engineers, and rightfully so. When an engineer stamps off an idea, they own that idea until the day they die, to a certain degree. But the ownership of that idea is the main focal point for that hesitation. Once had an engineer tell me, John, I'm not going to make a 45-year decision based off of a 45-minute presentation, and you have to respect that. So the standards act as a method or means to give that engineer confidence that the decision that they're making has been tried and true. That being said, it takes a little bit of this in combination with this and this for engineers to take that leap of, I don't know if you want to call it faith, but to take that leap to use those new and emerging technologies. And if you're trying to bring one of your new technologies to the industry, the best way to help them take that leap is to show them the information that gives them confidence that your process or product works. The adage of being belly to belly and talking to people is great. Showing them that you're going to be there for them in the beginning, bringing coffees to their office, bringing Italian cookies during Christmas is all sounding good, but I would say the most important part is giving them confidence through data. Engineers are data driven. That's what we do when we go through school. We analyze, we go over, we calculate, we miscalculate data. So without that data, the meeting is just a gathering between friends or an acquaintances with some really good or some really bad coffee. So when approaching engineers, my opinion, and I think it's a lot of people's opinion out there, is to back up your claims with data ad nauseum. Now, every engineer, specifically civil engineers, concrete engineers, folks who build big buildings, are going to say, well, that's not my concrete, that's not my structure. Especially when you marry up those engineers with the ready mix providers that they use to help them bring that concrete mix design to life. The concrete ready mix provider is going to say, well, it wasn't done on my concrete. So the next piece of that is be okay and comfortable with running demos and pilot projects. Oftentimes, when we're working with our clients and they hear the idea of doing a pilot project, they oftentimes get turned off. Wow, we don't sell product for pilot projects. It's beneath us. And good concrete practices dictate that we try our new technologies in a secure setting that has an umbrella of insurance, where if something does go wrong, it's easy to replace the concrete structure. So while it can be difficult to convince engineers of a new technology, as long as you provide them with data ad nauseum, that factual, actual information, the proof in the pudding that your technology has worked out in the field, whether field or in the laboratory, it's not that you're going to have no problem, but it'll make the transition a lot easier. And I hope this helps or gives some light to methods of bringing the technology out to the field. And not engineers, every engineer is the same. Every engineer is different. So you might have to use different data sets, and every job site is different. So what might work for one job site definitely might not work for another job site. So I hope you got some information out of this. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. Go concrete, beat asphalt.